All right, all right, all right. Let's get this thing on the road, shall we? Let's make sure. Let me make sure one thing's coming through. Okay, sweet. We're live. We're live. I think we're live, people. Okay. All right, let's get things started, shall we? Let's get this show on the road. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another show. We got an exclusive, kind of special stream for what we got going on tonight. And with what it is it's week 2 of the College Football Committee with the 12-team College Football Playoff when they have released their brackets. And this is the one that is showing on ESPN. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. So, honestly, let's just jump into it without any further ado, just because, I mean, it says projected, and so I'm thinking, okay, this is probably it. Plus, it came out about 30 minutes ago, so how inaccurate could it actually be? I mean, honestly, it looks right. I mean, because Memphis isn't there, South Florida is there. Um, who else? We see Texas Tech there, we see Miami there, we see Texas there as well. And these were teams that weren't here last week, so it does make sense. All right, now let's start to move into some of the action. I'll go. I'll make this easy. I don't think. Look, I'm going to be real, and this is probably how it's going to be for the rest of the bracket. Whoever the 12th seed is, they're not beating Georgia. They're not beating Georgia because Georgia's probably going to be stuck at that 5th seed, and in the 5. Okay, just had to double check, make sure my mic was on, because I've made some videos today and my mic was not on, and I was pretty pissed when I found out that my mic was not on. Here, let me. There we go. Just had to mess with the audio. Okay, but let's be real here. Whether it's South Florida, whether it's Navy, whether it's Memphis, whether it's Tulane, whoever it is, it could be James Madison as well. Because there's a lot of talk that James Madison is going to sneak that 12th seed and finish their season with only one loss, win their conference. And it's like, respectfully, I don't see how the committee. Look, I know we make the rules and everything, but like the committee is going to put Navy in. The committee is going to put the Bulls. The committee will put a 2-loss American Conference winner in over James Madison if James Madison only has one loss. Just because MAC and like even Mountain West is going to get shafted. They're not going to go. Boise State really carried that conference last season, and with like how the new rules and new parameters are, the big schools are going to go. So I know a lot of people are going to be upset with that, which I totally understand and I get that, but this is probably how the bracket is going to play out, and these are probably the teams that are going to go. Okay, now let's move to the 9 and the 8. Out of Notre Dame and Oregon, if this game was played tomorrow, coming off of the games that we just had, okay, this is in Oregon. Notre Dame hasn't given me a solid road win this season. A lot of their bigger games, the SC game, Texas A&M, they were at home. Texas A&M did beat them at home as well. They did only lose by a little bit to Miami. That was a close road game. Out of Oregon and Notre Dame, I'd have to go with Oregon. I don't like it, but I'm going to sit with it for a little bit. Out of Miami and Texas Tech, and this is coming off of this week. You know, I think this matchup is pretty okay. Not this one. This one could go either way. This one could go either way. These are two pretty evenly matched up games. Texas Tech has been pretty impressive. I mean, they're coming off of the big win against BYU. I'm. Hmm. I've seen Miami lose too many times this season. Give me Texas Tech. And then out of Texas and Ole Miss, give me the Longhorns. I'm not bought in on Ole Miss just yet. Um, and considering, and I'm gonna beat this drum for the rest of the season as well, who they're playing down the stretch versus Bama's playing the Sooners this weekend, and Oklahoma is another team they're playing ranked teams to end the season. Ole Miss isn't, and Ole Miss isn't getting to the SEC championship game either. There's Georgia, Bama, Texas A&M. There's a handful of teams that are ahead of them, and you never know. Texas could run the table in the SEC and leapfrog them. So, all right, now moving on. Out of Georgia, well, out of the Hoosiers in Texas, I'm taking the Hoosiers. Okay, I think Indiana, they've got something to prove. Out of Texas A&M and Texas Tech, let me come back to that one. Georgia and Bama, I'll take the Dogs, because if this is the second time they meet, I'm gonna roll with Georgia. Just kind of a little bit of a revenge game from earlier in the season, which that loss could loom a little bit longer for Georgia and be the reason why Bama goes and plays Texas A&M in the SEC championship, or Bama goes and plays Texas instead of Georgia, because that SEC loss would loom. Out of Ohio State and Oregon, I'm curious to see where Ohio State's going to be potentially. Like, if they're the 1 seed, this would be because they went out, they beat Michigan, they beat Indiana in the Big Ten championship game. If their offense is still rolling and their defense is how it's been, then I'm taking Ohio State against Oregon. But if Julian's saying, like, shows that, okay, he's a freshman, and he gets a little shaky after 2 of his biggest games of his career up until that point, give me the Ducks. So for kicks and giggles, give me the Ducks. You know what? Yeah, give me the Ducks. Give me the Ducks. Plus, it has the makings of a revenge game from the embarrassing blowout in the Rose Bowl last year. So yeah, give me the Ducks. And then out of this one's up for grabs, honestly. This one not so much. This one not so much. But these two, it could go either way. Because I think from this quadrant, and we had this kind of discussion last week after the bracket was released. Whoever wins in this section, they're going to end up playing Indiana. Because if Texas Tech, like, let's say Texas A&M moves on, and we have the Aggies against the Hoosiers, which I think that'd be for, like, logo purposes and, like, teams where it's like, oh my gosh, I never would have seen this in a million years. For logo purposes, this is a pretty fun matchup. But I mean, I'm taking the Hoosiers all the way to the national championship game. Could we have the makings of Ohio State running the table? They beat Oregon. They beat Bama or Georgia, whoever's sitting here, and then we have a rematch of the Big Ten championship game here, where if Ohio State won the Big Ten championship, Indiana win, maybe, I don't know. But out of Texas A&M, let's keep it right here where it is. Out of Texas A&M and Indiana, I would take the Hoosiers, and then out of Georgia and Oregon, you know what? This time around, yeah, let's go with Dan Lanning. Why not? I think last week I was sitting with Georgia, and I had a Georgia versus Indiana national championship. But this week around, hold on, this is bugging me. There we go. Now it's a little more aligned and stuff. This week, let's have Indiana and Oregon meet up, and then it'd be a first time for both of them. Be a rematch too as well. Give me the Ducks. Give me the Ducks as national champs. Get a little rematch and some revenge from earlier in the season when they played. Yeah, I like this. I like this. Makes no sense, obviously. Like this this is a tough sell for, I mean, Oregon would have to get through Notre Dame, Ohio State, Georgia, and Indiana. They would kind of do what the Buckeyes did last year, where they went through the best teams. It's a hard sell, but I like it. Yeah. I think... Because I don't know... One of... Indiana's going to lose somewhere. Texas A&M is going to lose somewhere. So these teams that look unbeatable... I mean, like, you see Miami, you see Texas Tech, Ole Miss, Texas, especially Texas. Like, there are some teams that we have seen lose. Okay, so, like, we've seen Bama lose, but they lost very early in the season. Which, it's kind of funny to see the flip-flop from, okay, where FSU was sitting after week 1 to where they are now, where Bama's sitting after week 1 to where they are now. I'm very... There's something that has to give. I know that makes no sense when I'm trying to say it out loud, but to me, in my brain, it kind of makes sense that something has to give here where Ohio State, obviously something's got to give here when when they eventually run into each other, potentially in the Big Ten championship game, because neither of them are going to be undefeated after that game. But it's hard to say we're going to have... Because Georgia has a loss, Bama has a loss. They have a loss. How many undefeated teams are left in college football? Let's go look. So there's only 3. Ohio State, Indiana, and Texas A&M. And then BYU. You know which team I think got shafted? Georgia Tech. I think when because they haven't posted the they haven't made the bracket. They haven't posted a graphic yet. College football bracket. Like the first 2 out. Yeah, see, look, 6 days ago. They haven't released anything because this bracket was released like 30 minutes ago. I wouldn't be surprised if, the show's still going now. But when you look at some teams here, Bama's going to have more than 1 loss. Georgia's going to have more than 1 loss. Indiana's not going undefeated, and Texas, like, it's hard for me to see 3 teams go undefeated into the playoff. And so it's hard to try to predict things. And when I'm saying, like, okay, something's got to give here, I mean, like, Bama might lose the Iron Bowl and lose out on the chance to go to the SEC championship game. And so then we have Georgia versus Texas A&M in the SEC championship, and then it ends up being Georgia who wins, and then that would catapult Georgia from a 5 to a 1 or a 2. So they're still, just like last week, there's still a lot of football to be played, but it's super hard to predict who would win, because I mean last year too, and I'm probably going to do this every show. The first round buys all lost. So if Georgia moves on, Oregon moves on, Texas Tech moves on, and Texas moves on, give me Texas, and then give me Oregon, Texas in the national championship game. Because I do think Texas could find a way to beat Texas Tech. Neutral site. Texas Tech and Oregon, maybe. I don't know. Okay, but we will we'll end the stream there, people. We're gonna it was just gonna be a quick, short stream, just because, I mean, with just how the bracket was already released, and I was gonna give my quick reaction to everything. So let me end that there. Dismiss that. Okay, but I hope you guys enjoyed. From initial reaction, I think, yeah, it's hard to predict, but I don't. From the teams that, even if it was Ole Miss, I don't know who can beat Indiana right now, and I don't know if Ohio State can just hang on to the 1 seed and just be. Okay, so they would win. They'd go 12-0 regular season, 13-0 with the Big Ten championship, 14-0, 15-0. Like, I don't see them going 16-0, 17-0. Like, I don't see that. So there's going to be a loss somewhere for Ohio State. There's going to be another loss somewhere for Bama and Texas. So I don't know. I could be totally wrong. Aggies go undefeated, win the whole thing. Marcel Reed wins the Heisman, top draft pick. Who knows? Anyways, people, but that's my thoughts and reactions to this bracket this week. I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to hit that like button. We'll make some more videos, make some more predictions as we get closer and closer to it. I think the biggest, this game will be fun. This game will be fun. Obviously, the semifinals would be huge, but I don't. Yeah, see now you got me second guessing. Now I'm second guessing on my picks, but this is who I got. I'll leave the stream here. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next stream.